In episode 1, we established the foundation. The leader who locates the cause of failure in their team has surrendered the only lever they actually control. But naming that principle is not enough, because most leaders who hear it will nod, agree it applies to other leaders they know, and return to their desk with the same unexamined assumption that their specific situation is the exception. Their team genuinely is the problem. The principle is correct in general and does not quite apply in their particular case. This is not denial. It is the natural response of a person who has not yet seen the specific mechanism by which their own behavior is creating the results they are attributing to other people. This episode is about that mechanism. The direct, traceable, often invisible line between what a leader does, how they communicate, what they tolerate, what standards they enforce, and which ones they quietly exempt themselves from under pressure, and what their team becomes over time. Willink states this principle with a precision most leadership writing carefully avoids. There are no bad teams, only bad leaders. Not that every underperforming team has a fixable leader. Not that leadership explains some portion of team dysfunction. That the character, the standards, and the consistent behavior of the leader are the primary inputs into the character, standards, and behavior of the team, reliably, reproducibly, in both directions. The mechanism works like this. Every leader communicates a standard. Not the standard they articulate in meetings or write into performance frameworks. The standard visible in what they consistently enforce and what they consistently let pass without consequence or comment. If a leader holds a team to a specific standard of preparation in client meetings, but does not hold themselves to the same standard when briefing their own people, the real standard has been communicated. Not the stated one, the real one. And the team learns the real standard with remarkable speed. They do not learn it from what the leader says. They learn it from the gap between what the leader says and what the leader demonstrably does when it is inconvenient. Every tolerated failure communicates permission. Every missed deadline that passes without consequence communicates that deadlines are negotiable when the situation is difficult enough. Every difficult conversation the leader avoids communicates that avoidance is how this organization manages itself. Every time a leader attributes a missed outcome to external circumstances without examining their own contribution, every single time, they are teaching their team to do exactly the same. This is the mirror from episode 1 made specific and operational. The team that does not take accountability is almost always led by a leader who has modeled something other than accountability in the moments that were difficult and unwatched. Not in the visible moments where the leader knows they are being observed. In the ordinary, unobserved moments where the real culture is built or quietly eroded one decision at a time over months and years. Willink introduces decentralized command as the structural solution, a team that does not need the leader present to make good decisions, because the leader has communicated intent clearly, built genuine trust, and developed the capability of individuals to act without constant oversight. But decentralized command only functions when the team trusts that the leader's standard is real, consistent, and applies to everyone, including the leader. A team that has watched their leader exempt themselves from the standard they enforce in others will not extend that trust. The result is a team that waits, that escalates decisions that should never require escalation, that checks in before acting when acting immediately is precisely what is needed. Not because they lack capability, because they have learned through accumulated observation that the standard is selectively applied, and they are not willing to commit to it. The action before episode 3 is a specific audit. Over the next week, identify 3 areas where your team consistently falls short of your expectations. For each one, identify the last time you held yourself to the same standard in a comparable situation when it was genuinely inconvenient to do so. Not the last time it was easy. The last time it was difficult, and you did it anyway in front of the people who were watching. If there is a gap between what you enforce in others and what you demonstrate under pressure yourself, that gap is being learned by your team right now. Episode 3 examines the most common and most costly leadership failure Willink identifies, and it is not the one most leaders expect. Subscribe so you do not miss it.